I often encounter INFJs. Sometimes these people don't even know they're INFJs or are not sure they're INFJs. I just know they are. That come to me and say, look, I'm going a little crazy because I keep exploring all these different systems, these different frameworks. So I go through the normal kind of regular MBTI framework, maybe got typed by Zurich Psych or by casual cognition or what have you. Or then I had to move on and I tried getting typed by objective personality. And then I had to move on and I got typed by talking with famous people. And then I got typed by Harry CPT. And so, you know, I get a lot of these INFJ narratives of just never quite finding peace with their type. So there is a certain sense of urgency and jitteriness about the whole process, because these people end up also like, and in fact they end up spending a lot of money getting typing and coaching services from different people within different frameworks that are not necessarily compatible, because, you know, there's no evidence whatsoever that there's any compatibility with traditional Jungian type and objective personality, or between objective personality and Harry CPT, and so on and so forth, right? And this narrative of the INFJ, I mean, I'm sure that happened to other people too. These like endless journeys through like different typing systems in this like longed for and yet seemingly never quite attainable desire to locate and pin down their type once and for all. You know, my experience is obviously more of an INFJ experience, like the experience of getting testimonies from INFJs, because the majority, by far the majority of people who get in touch with me are INFJs, given the nature of my channel. And I cannot help but think that these experiences, I mean, I feel for these people. I mean, there is a certain sense of existential unease that is driving them. But at the same time, I cannot help but think that this confirms the first chapter of The Infinite Soul, you know, which is, by the way, my latest book on the INFJ Life in Modern World. I mean, this book is about how to find purpose, meaning, and value in your life as an INFJ, and by embracing your nature as an INFJ, despite the hostility of the world, at least as is perceived by a lot of INFJs or contemporary society. But the first chapter of The Infinite Soul is called, and this is important, this is why I want to mention it to you. It's called Rethinking the INFJ, right? Rethinking the INFJ. By the way, you can get this book at the link below if you want to get the book, right? The first link is to this book. Check the reviews. It's helped a lot of people already. Now, when I talk about rethinking the INFJ, I'm really talking about rethinking the attitude to type that we have, to move from what I call finitude to infinitude, not infinity. The infinite in Infinite Soul stands for infinitude and not infinity. Simply in the sense that I think we should really move beyond the idea that we are just a list of traits, a list of characteristics that can be captured and encapsulated in a neat little description. Okay? But this is exactly what these systems, these frameworks are doing. And the idea that you want to be boxed in, that you want to be captured in a neat, little, precise, articulate, systematic description, at first is going to make you feel safe. That's a natural human craving, and that's natural human expectation. But very quickly is going to make you feel like you're gasping for air. This is a human experience. It's also a very INFJ experience, because I always like to say INFJs, among all of the 16 types, are uniquely sensitive to the human condition as a condition of radical openness to new experiences and to new meanings. So INFJs are actually never really looking for these restrictive encapsulations of what their type is. So no wonder that they end up being dissatisfied and move on to another framework and realize after a while that they feel smothered again and move on to another framework. They're constantly looking for the framework that will be closed while still giving them the air of openness. And that's a hopeless quest. So I think embrace the fact that type is more qualitative than quantitative. Maybe read my books, I don't know, but you should read my books if you are someone who experiences these endless quests and feel like you're constantly animated by an impossible to sate type of desire regarding typology and finding your true type. You should read my books, because my books will tell you about the subjective experience of what it means to be an INFJ, and you will understand why you are uniquely sensitive to the phenomenon of being boxed in and why you cannot stand it ultimately. And the dialectic between wanting to be boxed in, because that's safety, the safety of boundaries, but ultimately it's going to stifle you because your nature is to burst out of the box to create meaning. Closed boxes are the death of meaning, and that's why those systems don't satisfy you. Okay, so let me know in the comments what you thought, guys, and if you have been one of these people, give me a like if you enjoyed the video. You know, this is very useful for referencing purposes. It helps me a lot. My first book on the INFJ, The Ecstatic Soul. INFJs are not just infinite, but also ecstatic. A new look at the INFJ personality, and this looks in detail. In fact, it's the deepest investigation of the INFJ mind. Also will help you understand the topics I've discussed today. What's it like to be an INFJ? What's it like to think like an INFJ? If you want to know about this in the maximal level of depth, you should get The Ecstatic Soul. Link is below. Again, check the reviews. Helped a lot of people. And as usual, guys, the lifeblood of my channel, the lifeblood, you know, I could not do it without you. That's Patreon. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's less than $4 a month, and you get access to a Discord server. I'm there pretty much every day. You get access to bonus content, bonus video content every 2 weeks just for you. The library on Patreon is getting larger, and other perks too. And again, it really helps me with continuing to produce these quality videos. I could not do it without you. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.